What's up, YouTube? Got another knife video for you today, and I'm looking at a Liong Mah product here. This is the Liong Mah L1 tiny integral. Excuse my stuff. What's going on here? We got a Liong Mah card here. QR code that. Probably takes you to the website. You got a cleaning cloth and some packaging. So he calls this the L1, not the LM1. That's my bad. L1. L1. But it is an integral. It's based on the Lanny design. It does come in this nice pouch. You got all this stuff with it. I do like Liong Mah's packaging for sure. Beautiful knife with marble carbon fiber and orange peel finished titanium bolster. Now it is a integral. So what's interesting about it being an integral, with having a integral, you actually still have a bolster or a scale over this side. So you can kind of see how it's cut out in one big piece here. And then you get this scale material, so they just basically thin this part of the titanium out to let you have the carbon fiber scales, which is a really cool look that I haven't seen done on too many integrals. So it has this look of a bolster when it's really just all part of the frame, part of the integral. It is on bearings, pretty smooth. I would say it's pretty typical of Liong Mah as far as action is concerned. It is manufactured by Riot. So let's do some basic size comparisons first. So we'll put it next to my favorite Liong Mah knife, the Field Duty EDC, probably my most used knife in my collection, if not one of them. More so lately, just absolutely just love it. It's such a good knife. You can see it's very, very similar in size, almost identical. It's about 4.25 inch handle, 3.25 inch blade. Overall length around 7.5 inches. So it's a good EDC size knife. Not very big, not too small. I think it's right in the middle. It's really my sweet spot, which is why I really, really like this knife in a lot of ways. Come on, zero. There we go. Let's do a little weight on it. We don't want milliliters. Thank you very much. Ounces. There we go. 3.4. Fantastic. Not going to even notice it in your pocket. Very lightweight. So you got a lightweight knife and a good size. Put this back out here and let's compare with the Para 3. I think would be a good comparison too, as far as size is concerned. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good size comparison, right? So very, very similar size. So the Para 3 is my ultimate size of EDC knife. I just love it. Love the Para 3 so much. I have many of them. But you know, it fits right in that same wheelhouse there of size there. Very decorative pivot. I do love this pocket clip that he does with it's a titanium clip with the ceramic ball. It's also on the Field Duty EDC. You can see there. It's a great pocket clip design. Love it. Absolutely works perfectly. One of the better clips on the market, in my opinion. So you can tell I'm kind of gushing over this knife, right? It came with perfect, and again, Liong Mah sent this in to a few of us channels, my Grady's Gear, Lefty EDC, Jake over at Bearded Gear, I think D2M Knives, and myself. So far I've had this. I think I'm last on the list this time to get this one. And it is just remarkable. I love that he's sending out knives to reviewers. I think that speaks highly. He's confident in his work, and he wants to get more people's eyes on it, because I believe these are still in stock on his website, so I could check real quick. But it's one, yeah. So we'll get into the value and such here in a sec. The action and everything is great. The centering's perfect. So how's the action? How's the deployment? Well, you got a flipper tab, which works great. You can see a little bit of the action there. You also have this little fuller here, and if you get your meteor finger in there, you can spotty flick it. Love it. Love that you can spotty flick it. When I first saw it, I was like, nope, that's not happening. You can. The other one I just recently reviewed, the Zulu, it wasn't able to do that. It had more of a nail nick than a fuller. So this is just there enough where you can either get your fingernail or the meat of your index finger in there, and you can, not index finger, middle finger, and you can really flip that out very easily. So it can be middle finger flicked, or if you want to use the flipper, it's great. Flipping action is fantastic. The design of the flippers, perfect with that downward angle. You just have all kinds of leverage. You can light switch it. You can press it. I can't even think of the other terminology for flipping besides light switching. But there is another one. Just can't think of it off the top of my head. And so the action is really good. It's not like ultra drop shut, but it will. The couple shakes drop. But the deployment, the detent, which Liong Mah gets right on his knives, is perfect. The detent is definitely there. I'm sure Lefty said the same thing in his review. I know he's quite the detent diva. You have a very decorative, nice pivot here that is a little raised. It does stick out of the bolster quite a bit, or the frame quite a bit, which is fine. It looks nice. This is really meant to be like a premium carry knife. It comes in quite a few different variations as well. So you have, in fact, let me just pull that up because there's so many things. I'm just gonna grab my keyboard here. I got my monitor in front of me, and I want to say that it has quite a few options. I know there's fat carbon as an option. There is obviously marble carbon fiber. There is maybe micarta. Let's take a look. You have full titanium as an option. You've got fat carbon. You've got Damascus, a raindrop as well, with a copper inlay, winter storm, purple haze inlay, mokutai. I mean, you've got so many options. The one I'm looking at, the marble carbon fiber, is one of the least expensive models, which is pretty crazy. When you look at the price of this knife, that's where a lot of people are gonna have a hang up. It is a pretty expensive knife. The least expensive model is the one we're looking at. No, sorry. The L1 textured titanium is $550. Now, granted, it is an integral, so keep that in mind, that it's going to be more expensive no matter what. Integrals are not cheap, but we have seen a few companies bring them out for reasonable prices, I would say. Like the Spyderco, Nirvana, Paisan were around $500, I think. So, I mean, honestly, not too far off at $550. The Benchmade Anthem comes to mind. Another integral made in the US for less money, but probably arguably not as well made as this one is. So yeah, if you want to get into one of these, you're looking at a pretty hefty investment though, $550 for just the standard titanium version with textured titanium. You can start going to the carbon fiber inlaid ones with, you know, the marble is $550, but all the fat carbons are $609, and then you can get real crazy and get up the Damascus Mokutai inlay is almost $1,000. So I think the pricing's a little off. I think that's a lot. But, you know, who am I to say? It's definitely a high quality knife. I love the design. I love the marble carbon fiber is beautiful on it. It's a really nice gentleman's carry knife. I would also EDC this knife. I would love to kind of see it, and maybe the textured titanium would be a good EDC option because it's a little less dressy. It's a little heavier, it's 4 ounces, and it's also the least expensive. So maybe that's a good choice for EDC. The blade steel is great, S90V, you know, nothing too crazy there, but great blade steel. It is pretty thin behind the edge. I think I measured around 15 thousandths behind the edge, which is great. So it's slicey, it's got a flat grind. It's not very tall, so, you know, there's not a lot of flat grind to work with, but it is very slicey and it cuts very well. So could function very nicely as a gentleman's carry knife or just an overall EDC knife. If you want to carry a $600 pocket knife, then that's up to you. I have many times done that, so it's not like I haven't. But I do think, you know, this is a little high on the price there. Especially when you can get a field duty EDC for what, $300 if you get the G10 version I have. I mean, you can get this for $300 on his website. If you want to go fancy, go carbon fiber, $369, way cheaper, and just as capable. Maybe not as fancy, not an integral, but so again, it's subjective because of the integral, because of the materials used. It's going to be a little bit more expensive knife. I would think more in the $450, $500 range would be reasonable. But you know, that could be why there's, you know, quite a few of these available. But it's a super great design. I mean, ergonomically, it's so comfortable in the hand. Like Liong Mah knows how to just dial in ergonomics 100%. Like feels so good in the hand and to use. And then you've got some jimping up here, but it's very minimal. It's not going to, it's not overly aggressive, so it's functional, but it's there, and it'll help lock your thumb in a little bit. Not what I would consider a hard deuce EDC knife, obviously, but an everyday carry, that most people are going to, it's going to meet most people's needs. You got a high wear resistant steel in S90V. It's just a beautiful design. Orange peel on the finish there, and it's an integral. So you do have a lanyard hole if you really want to do that. Don't know why, but if you did, you got it. It does have an not over travel, but a lock bar insert, so it is got a steel lock bar insert, and the action and centering are absolutely perfect. So the quality is top notch. Is it worth that much money? That's subjective. That's up to you. So that's gonna wrap my review of the L1 from Liong Mah, guys. I really dig it. I might look at getting maybe the texture titanium one. It's a little easier to swallow in the price point. But man, those inlaid ones with like the Arctic Storm inlay or the Mars Valley, or even this, the Purple Haze looks sick. I mean, there's so many cool options on this. So hopefully maybe I might pick one of these up. I can't decide if I want to drop the coin on this. Maybe I'll just buy this one from Liong Mah. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next video.